You know, a single moment really can change everything. We're about to explore the story of a man named Leon, whose personal family crisis, well, it unexpectedly pulls back the curtain on a much, much larger societal issue. These are Leon's own words, and they just capture the core of this story so perfectly. It's a really stark reminder that life can shift in an instant, forcing us down paths we never, ever saw coming. So let's mark that date, February 7th, 2026. For Leon, that day was a clear before and after. It was the day the floor just fell out from under his world, all triggered by one single, completely unexpected event at home. It all started when Leon's 80-year-old mother, who has Alzheimer's, had a sudden fall. He describes hearing this sound kind of like water, and immediately his gut told him it might have been a mini stroke. She was rushed to the hospital, and just like that, their lives were thrown into total uncertainty. Now, to really grasp how serious this situation is for Leon and his mom, we've got to understand the medical reality they were already living with every single day. So the crucial thing to know about Alzheimer's is that it isn't just about forgetting things. It's a progressive, irreversible brain disorder. There's no cure. There's only the incredible challenge of managing the journey forward. Okay, so what's happening in the brain? The disease is caused by these abnormal protein buildups that literally damage brain cells. Age is the biggest risk factor, which is super relevant for Leon's 80-year-old mother. And, this is the most important part, there's no cure, which makes a sudden health crisis like a fall just that much more critical. The disease follows this absolutely devastating path. It moves from mild memory lapses to moderate confusion, and then, finally, to a severe stage where someone needs total care. This slow, steady decline is the backdrop for the crisis Leon's family is now facing. So, with his mother in the hospital, Leon's life was just completely turned upside down. Her health crisis kicked off an entirely different and totally unexpected one for him. And here we are again with Leon's own words. He thought about what independence might look like, sure, but what happened was this jarring, unwelcome version of it, something he was absolutely not prepared for. The contrast here is just so stark. I mean, a planned move toward independence involves preparation, support. Leon's reality, it was the total opposite. A sudden push out of the blue into a new life with zero skills or support systems ready to go. And here's the really critical piece of the puzzle for Leon's struggle. He himself has a disability and needs 24-hour care. So his mother wasn't just his mother. She was, in his own words, his number one safety net. Now that net is gone. His life has become this lonely, scary, rigid routine of just waiting for caregivers. Okay, so this is where Leon's very personal story crashes into a much bigger public issue. His sudden, forced independence shines a spotlight on what he sees as a massive systemic failure. Leon connects his personal crisis directly to a public promise. He feels trapped, not just by his circumstances, but by a system that he believes completely failed to deliver on a really fundamental commitment. This year, 2025, this was supposed to be a critical deadline. It was the year the Accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act, the AODA, promised a fully accessible province. But that goal was not met. A review from the AODA Alliance just last year didn't mince words at all. They declared that the province is in an accessibility crisis. This really shows you the huge gap between the goal and what's actually happening. The aim was 100% accessibility, but the reality is that significant barriers are still there, leaving so many people feeling stuck and completely isolated. And let's be clear, this isn't some abstract policy debate. For Leon and countless others, this failure has real, tangible, daily consequences. It literally affects their ability to just live with dignity. So all of this brings us back to the present moment for Leon. 2 weeks after that fall, he's basically living in a state of limbo, staring down a future filled with these profound and really unsettling questions. Just think about that for a second. Weeks have gone by and still no clear answers. The entire foundation of his life has been shaken, and he has no idea what comes next for either of them. So he's left wrestling with the most fundamental questions, starting with the most immediate one. Is his mom ever going to be able to come back home? Or will she have to go to a specialized facility for people with Alzheimer's, which is, a really difficult and life-altering alternative? And that question leads to his deepest, darkest fear. the one that reveals everything about his own vulnerability. If she can't come home, where will I go? Leon's own words just bring it all full circle, don't they? His search for a stable future slams right into the wall of a world that just isn't built for him. True independence, he's realizing, isn't just a personal challenge, it's a systemic one. In the end, Leon's story is so much more than just one family's hardship. It forces us, all of us, to ask a larger, much more urgent question. When the systems that are supposed to support us fall short, how do we actually build a world where promises of accessibility and independence become a lived reality for everyone?